Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today, and remember, true wealth begins with good health. Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today, and remember, true wealth begins with good health. Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. All right, there we go. We'll try this again, and we'll make sure our guests are unmuted. We see them there. They are in the studio, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Telehealth Tuesday, your go-to podcast for insights on modern healthcare and wellness solutions. I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt, your host, and today we have a special episode lined up for you. Before I tell you all about our next guest, and when I say next guest, plural with an S on it, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsors for tonight's episode. Graphics R Chase, P5 Solutions, and A Dime a Dynasty. I also want to let you know that Telehealth Tuesday can be viewed on multiple platforms, including our YouTube channel, which is Dr. B TV. That's the word DOCTORB, the letter B, TV. That's on YouTube. Also, our platforms, Good Faith Wellness Center, which is on Instagram, and Good Faith Wellness Center, which is also on Facebook. So please follow, like, share, and subscribe to help support this program. Now, before we get into this, I hear the ladies in the back. They're anxious to talk to you. Ladies, y'all, I see you backstage there. We got y'all set up. They're looking pretty in pink. All right. So let's talk about these amazing young ladies. First up, LaShundra Walker. She's a dedicated 45-year-old young lady, and who was, after being diagnosed with cancer at the age of 40, she transformed into her journey into a source of inspiration. She's passionate about fitness and creating lasting memories with friends and family. She thrives on connection and positivity. Driven by her own experiences, LaShundra aims to become an oncology nurse, aspiring to care for and support others with the same compassion that she received during her treatment. Her resilience and commitment to helping others make her a beacon of hope in her community. Next, we have Miss Angel Weathersby. Angel Weathersby was born and raised in Jackson, Mississippi. She's 34 years old and a virtuous woman of God. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back. A virtuous woman of God, a true believer. She states that I'm not lucky, I'm blessed. And she has HER2 positive breast cancer. She's a survivor. And she states that God brought me through my battle with stage 2 breast cancer in 2017, and I'm forever grateful. I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, Philippians 4:13. And last but not least, Miss Krissy Burrell. Krissy Burrell was born and raised also in Jackson, Mississippi, a 4.5-year triple negative breast cancer survivor. She was diagnosed at the age of 37, and she is the founder of Penthouse Media LLC. She states that I love speaking and talking with individuals in all walks of life. God has truly brought me a long way, and now I'm using my platform to motivate and inspire others along telling my story. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I bring you the sister survivors. How we doing? How we doing, ladies? I think we
Good,
can
good, Dr. B. How
good. We can do better than that. Come on, we got some audience participation. There we go. All right, that's all right, guys. And listen, we are actually going live. You all, we are all here broadcasting live, and they are right in the waiting room at Good Faith Wellness Center together here. So let's get right into it. I don't know, and whoever wants to go first, don't all chime in at once. Um, we want to know, what before this, tell us. Let's talk about survivor sisters and what that means to you all. What does it mean to be a survivor sister, and what does that mean for your bond?
Well, I would say so a survivor sister is someone that resonates with what you've gone through. I always tell people you don't know what a survivor has gone through or is going through unless you are a survivor. So our bond started off of being survivors, and that's how our survivorship started. And I honestly am thankful, even though we had to go through such a traumatic experience. I am so thankful that God brought me two more sisters. I actually lost a sister while going through chemo, and it's like God replenished me with two more sisters. So survivorship is everything. We talk all the time, every day. We encourage. We go places. We just have this bond, and like I said, I didn't know going through this that I would find two more sisters that I could sit and talk with, I could cry with, I could call them and ask them, hey, do you feel like this? What is this? Just about everything. So I
Hmm.
think survivorship with my sisters are everything. And I'm thankful for them.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Do you guys feel like survivor sisters? I mean, do y'all feel even sometimes closer than blood?
Yes,
Yes.
because of
Yes.
this journey that we all went through, and we went into each journey different ways,
Yeah.
but our routes brought us to each other. And what we went through is like it's so unexplainable. You can't help but have a sisterly bond with somebody that went through a similar experience.
Hmm.
Yeah. And it's good to have, sisters that you can relate to things that you're going through because your family, your friends, they don't be understanding. But when you got two sisters that been through what you've been through,
Yeah.
we can just relate on all obstacles.
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, we're man. This is look. I tell everybody, ladies and gentlemen. I told everyone this is going to be probably all our episodes have been great. We're going higher and higher. But look, I knew that bringing these three young ladies on here, and these are people that and especially LaShundra, I know personally. These are great people. I've gotten to know the other two young ladies briefly here. Great people. I knew this was going to be probably our best episode, maybe even of the whole season. Just so we thankful. We're thankful for your story. We thank God that you're here. Now, before I get to any more of my questions that I prepared, I see that we've got comments pouring in left and right, ladies. Somebody saying that's my niece, LaShawn. That's my niece. Stacy Buford is here. Samantha Rankin is here, saying she's yelling out, Chris. God bless you. We're so thankful for these comments. All right, let's get right to it. What would y'all say that some of the biggest misconceptions that maybe you had or other people have about breast cancer? Like, are there any misconceptions that people might have?
I would think the biggest one to me for me was that it can't happen to you because
Hmm.
it can definitely happen. I mean, not saying that I was ignorant to the fact, but you're just thinking that you're healthy, you're eating right, you're working out, you're trying to be your best self, and this drops in your lap. So I think the biggest misconception about breast cancer is that you can't get it. If you're not just not thinking about it, but it can happen to you. It can.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. We are live, so every now and then we might have a little glitch, but I could hear you. I could hear you on the
Okay.
audio there. So yeah, and I,
Okay.
I don't know if either one of y'all might have wanted to chime in, or if y'all had anything to add before we go to any other questions there.
would just say that people who don't who haven't gone through the journey,
Mm-hmm.
they assume once we get to a certain point, they think that we're
Yeah.
done,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and this will never be over for us.
Yeah.
Right.
It'll never be over.
Yeah.
We have struggles, daily struggles, more good days than bad days, but
For
in
sure.
some type of way, we have a struggle.
Yeah, and I'm still on a pill to moxie. I had a high estrogen level to cause
Mm-hmm.
my cancer, so I'm still going through the chemotherapy. The
Mm-hmm.
doctor said I was supposed to get off of it 5 years, but they want me to do another 5 years of my genetic test. And so, I'm still striving and trying to survive, through it. So, still surviving. Yeah.
Man, that's such an amazing story. And we and especially I've got a question that's coming in, but I was just going to say, from my practice, and certainly, I'm a family medicine doctor and I do hospital medicine. So we've taken care of a lot of people that have been diagnosed with cancer, and they come in with different things, different ailments, whether it's fever or nausea, vomiting, chest pain, just different things. So I've certainly taken care of, hundreds of people with cancer, but I don't diagnose it. And I think that a lot of times, man, it's something that a lot of patients, some of them, sometimes they'll be depressed, and sometimes we, even as the medical team, and we're like, man, why does this have to happen to such great people? But one of the things that
Yes.
one of the things I appreciate about each and every one of you, and I've gone through your social media pages and everything, you guys seem to always be smiling. And like I say, I know LaShundra the best. You guys, every time I've seen her, she can be out at Johnny T's, she can be out at Ish. She's gonna have a great countenance, whether she's working or twerking. I'm sorry, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. All right, I'm sorry.
That's work.
What I'm trying to say,
Okay.
what I'm trying to say is that I'm basically saying, this uplifts even me to see you guys bright, smiling faces, and I just really again want to thank you all for being a beacon of light and showing us that there is hope, and despite no matter what you have, what ailments, what you're diagnosed with, that you too can overcome. All right, somebody said, yes, LaShundra's going toward that. Oh, Lord. All right, so let's go to a question from the audience. How did each of you get diagnosed with breast cancer, and was it a self breast exam?
I'll start. Mine was through a routine mammogram. It was my second year getting a mammogram. I didn't have any symptoms. I wasn't sick. None of that. My doctor told me I had dense tissue. So he saw something that he wanted to do a second mammogram on. So he did a mammogram ultrasound. The ultrasound lady was focusing on one area and she wouldn't stop. She continued on that area. Fast forward about a few days later, he called me on the phone and was like, it was something concerning. And then I panicked. And I had to go see a radiologist. And then the radiologist that day put her hand on my tumor and said it was cancer.
Wow.
So she did the biopsy, and then she called me 7 days later to confirm it.
Wow. And how did that make you feel, when you got that phone call?
I lost it.
Yeah.
I was at work, but she gave me enough time to get somewhere to where I could hear what she had to say. And I got to where I was by myself, and then she asked me, was I ready? And then she was like, Miss Walker, it's cancer.
Hmm. Wow. What about the you guys, what about you all? I don't know if y'all want to share, what you went
Okay,
through.
yeah, I don't mind. So I just went in for my yearly annual, and how they do your breast check, and she was like, "Have you been hurt in your breast or something?" I said, "No." I said, "Why you say that?" And she was like, "I feel a lump right here." I said,
Hmm.
"Oh." She said, "Well, it may be a cyst or something." I was like, "Okay, well, good." I'm not thinking cancer, none of that. So she sent me over to get a biopsy or whatever, and she called me in, to come in because they can't tell you over the phone. So when I came in, they told me they just looking. I'm like, what? What? You know how doctors, they don't want to tell their patients. But she went on and said, she said, you have cancer. And I was just like, oh, wait a minute. No, I don't. well, this
Mm.
something wrong, because when you think of cancer, you think of death. That's devastating. Don't nobody want to hear they got cancer. I'm like,
Absolutely.
no. So I was devastated. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Well, for me, I found mine. I went in for my very first mammogram at the age of 35, and at the age of 35, my insurance actually paid for it early. Usually, they ask you to get a mammogram at 40,
Mm-hmm.
but the insurance I had at that time prompted me to go get a mammogram, and I said fine because I was doing my actual self exams at home.
Mm-hmm.
And after I did my first mammogram, which it hurt really, really bad, I don't know if the tech didn't know what she was doing or what, but it hurt me so bad. And I was like, is this what I'm gonna have to do every year? Because it hurted. So a few months after that, I started to feel a sharp pain shooting through my left breast, and I thought it was just maybe hormones, time of the month, or something like that. And one day I was laying on the couch and my dog, my puppy, jumped on my breast and
Mm.
her paw hit a tender spot. And I was like, wait, what is this? So I got up and
Yeah.
tried to feel around. I was like, oh, maybe it's nothing. I really didn't feel it. So later on, I started to feel it a little more. So I went in. Well, I called the doctor and told her, I said, hey, I'm feeling something. Do I supposed to feel all of this in my breast? And she said, no, Miss Burrell, we just gonna call you to come in and do a follow up.
Mm-hmm.
Went in to do a follow up, and the first doctor diagnosed me with stage 0 DCIS breast cancer. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay. She said I wouldn't have to do chemo. I just do surgery, a lumpectomy, and I would be good. I went for a second opinion, and that doctor told me it was stage 2B triple negative breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the reactions from both phone calls were a little bit different because the first call kind of gave me hope. I was like, I want to have to do the chemo. I've read about chemo and I've seen how it's done people. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't have to do that. Once the second doctor called me and said, okay, everything changes. It's chemo for 6 or 7 months. You have to have surgery, blah, blah. And it just broke me down. I was at work and I was literally on my knees bawling, crying because I was, for the most part, healthy. Didn't have any known health problems that I knew of. And all of a sudden I get this news and it really broke my heart because I was not expecting to be given that kind of diagnosis out of
Mm-hmm.
nowhere, really. But thank God for my puppy. My
Yeah.
puppy jumped on my breast. And that's how I knew something was
That's
there.
right.
Other than that, I would have never known because I really couldn't feel it until I guess pressure was pushed on. So that's
Wow.
how I found out. Devastating, for sure.
Wow. I think you better buy that puppy some golden dog food or something. They need to have some platinum biscuits or something to feed that puppy.
I would have lied dog food. She is a blessing for sure. I thank God for her. Really.
Yes, indeed. Let me. I'm not sure if y'all can, because I know that you guys are intently making sure that you're right there in the camera, so you probably can't see these. So we don't usually read all the comments, but I'm reading them just so that you guys know who's here supporting you. So
Okay.
I think I talked about Samantha Rankin saying Chandra's gonna twerk, and then Adrian Michelle said, "Hey Sean." Katrina says, "That's right, smile and twerk." Adrian Michelle, I love you, Sean. My girl's definitely a warrior. Lexi said, "But God." Jasmine Briscoe. Okay, well, this is should we start getting tested at 30 now, Dr. B? Well, Jasmine, the guidelines don't support that, right now, in any of them. Of course, I'm board certified in family medicine, and our guidelines from the ABFM don't say that. And sometimes, they have so there's a family history. You heard one of them talk about being 35. If it's just like same thing with colon cancer and getting screening colonoscopy. You start 5 to 10 years earlier, 10 years with
Mhm.
colonoscopy and 5 years earlier for breast, if you've had a first degree relative who's had breast cancer. The previous recommendation was age 40, but like I said, they kind of change these things every couple of years. So, but no, they do not recommend getting tested at 30. All right. Let's see. Stacy says, "Keep enjoying life because you just never know." Ebony
Yeah.
Lindsay. Ebony Lindsay said, "Smile and twerk" as well. All right, so let's go to another question. Um, How did you all find each other? One of the questions says, how did you all find each other and begin supporting each other?
Okay, good question. Great question.
Yeah.
Well, I met Krissy at the first Pink Friday that I attended.
And me and Angel, we have mutual friends, and we met long years ago. And when I found out, I knew she had gone through it. So when I found out, I reached out to her. She was basically mentoring me through Messenger on Facebook. I was like, "Will this happen? And how did this happen?" And honestly, she was answering questions, and we just kind of grew a bond outside of the mutual friends that we knew, you know, previously. So once we all got together, how did we all link?
And I met Sean at the podcast.
And then
that's right.
Yeah,
That's
I used to work with Krissy's best friend, and I went to school with her older sister.
Yeah. So we kind of, and I actually on my podcast I interviewed the ladies for Breast Cancer Awareness Month 2 years ago. So that's how it all came together.
Yeah.
In 2022. So we've been rocking
and rolling
since
2022.
All right. That's all right. That's all right. Rocking and rolling. 22.
Yeah. Rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. That is so beautiful. Jasmine says, what kind of diet do you have? And what kind of diet do you have? And did you adjust your diet after diagnosis?
Well, prior to my diagnosis, I tried to eat as clean as I could. I ate pretty decent. But while going through chemo and me losing my appetite and not being able to eat, me forcing myself to eat, when it was time for me to eat, I ate whatever I wanted.
Yeah. Going through chemo, I ate whatever I wanted to eat, but I tried to eat healthy. I did eat turkey meat, salads, you know. I don't do that now. But but when I was going through it, you know, I ate as healthy as possible as I could. Stayed away from alcohol, you know, limit your alcohol and stay away from red meat.
I ate whatever was put in front of me. It was hard for me when I wasn't able to eat when I could. So when I could, I overdid it.
Yeah,
I did.
And for the most part, I pretty much at the time I don't think I was eating pork, and I was real leery about red meat at the time. So when I was going through chemo, I lost my taste of meat, period. So I ate a lot of salads and a lot of like hibachi rice and all, and it wasn't good for you, but I just didn't have a taste for meat. So everything I ate was more so like sides and vegetables. But then eventually the taste of meat came back, but it came back slowly. So
food be so salty now. Do it be salty, y'all? Food
is salty to me now. And a lot of people say it's not salty. And I'm like, it's salty to me. So maybe that's a thing for us.
Yeah. The chemo.
Post chemo. Yeah.
Absolutely. And look, you know, just so I think you all, maybe one person got out of the view a little bit. If y'all could, we know y'all are survivor sisters, so just go on and bunch up a little, lean in, act like you love each other. Oh, there we go. That's
okay. Did I say that earlier? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
We ain't acting.
That's right. That's right. We just want to make sure all the viewers can see the detail and they can see your faces. And let's see. We got a couple other things. Well, I'm telling you, this is the highest amount of questions and comments we've ever gotten. So that's a true testament. That's a true testament of support for you all, and that people believe in you. Katrina said, "Does a hysterectomy put you at a higher risk?" No, not directly. Not a hysterectomy. No, but I think I understand where you're going with that question. But there's a little nuance. There's a couple other things you'd have to consider. Katrina, we'll get back to that, or I don't know if you want to rephrase that, but the surgery itself, the hysterectomy, which is the removal of the uterus, everyone, does that put you at a higher risk? No, not directly. But there are associations with that, like with, breast and uterine cancer, all those kind of things like that. So I think I see where you're going, but the answer to that would be no, not directly. M. Alexander says they don't look like what they've been through and going through. Stacy Buford, so much strength and beauty in this live. Continued prayers, ladies.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, and Adrian Barton, strong, beautiful ladies are glowing. That's one. All right, I got a question. So tell me this, guys. can you guys help walk us through, walk the audience through a typical day, in treatment? Like what actually happens? You have breast cancer, you've been diagnosed, and you're a candidate for chemotherapy, and or radiation. What does that look like? Walk us through a typical day.
A typical day, I would say, day one of chemo, it's a long day. I remember going in maybe about 7 that morning. I would leave probably about 3:30, 4 o'clock. I had to get 4 different medications, so they would do them simultaneously. It's a long process. Really tired that day. You go home. I kind of slept it off, and the chemo really wouldn't hit me till like day 2 or 3.
Mhm.
And it was downhill from there. And it was me struggling to get back up.
A day for me, let me see, I had to do 4 rounds, an hour and 30 minutes each.
Woo.
Um,
Oh, my
yeah,
goodness.
an hour and 30 minutes. I remember one day they had to rush in because the chemo was burning in me. Like all the doctors, they had to slow the medicine down, but you just feel tired. Like I slept through every chemo session I slept because, it weakens your body. It just weakens you. I couldn't do nothing but sleep. I tried to write and eat. I couldn't do nothing but just sleep because it weakens you. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, for me, I had 2 different medicines at 2 times. My first medicine was called the Red Devil, which is, I think, the worst medicine on the market. It's horrible. It makes you feel like it's the devil, like it's really red. It's in long syringes. They will literally give you that with steroids, and they will also they have to give it to you slow. Like she said, they have to push it slow because if it goes too fast, it makes you sick.
Yeah.
And I remember going to the doctor, like my second round, I threw up everywhere. As soon as I smelled it, I would literally throw it up. And I would still have to sit there and get the chemo. My second medicine, so I did that medicine twice a month for 2 months. And then the second medicine was Taxol, which Taxol affects your muscles.
That's right.
And it made you really tired. It made your body hurt. And like you said, by the time you get up and get your strength back, it's time for the next dosage of medication. So chemo is, let me tell you, chemo is a monster.
It is.
I mean, it did what it's supposed to have done, but chemo is tough.
It is.
I cannot even sugarcoat it.
And
It's
the
tough.
toughest stage of chemo, me losing my hair, me just in the mirror, and I'm just combing my hair, and
It comes out like you pulling the cap off your head.
literally.
It comes out like that. Yep.
I just had my cousin shave me. I just take it off.
Yeah, I shaved mine. Did you shave
Yeah,
yours?
I got a haircut the day before my first treatment because I didn't know if I could mentally handle seeing
for real.
hair come from my head.
Yeah.
Wow.
Chemo did a number. It changes your skin.
Yeah.
We were really dark. My fingernails were dark.
Yeah.
I had mouth sores. I really didn't lose a lot of weight. I may have lost like 10 pounds. But yeah, chemo, it does a number on you.
It
like
does.
You can't go out in the sun. You can't stand in direct. Still to this day, I can't stand in direct sun.
Me neither. I don't like bright light.
It dries your skin out. We were just speaking before we started shooting that like our skin is so hard and dry, and that's post chemo.
Yeah.
I lost my toenails. Like I lost all my toenails.
I did. I lost like 2 toenails.
My toenails.
The toenails?
Yes.
Lost all of them.
And mine turned black.
Yep. My nails turned black.
Wow. That's and even as a physician, of course we all we tell people about sometimes a patient will ask me, and I make sure to tell them, hey, look, I'm not an oncologist, but some of the common things like what you all said, hair loss, nausea, sometimes vomiting, sometimes weight loss, decreased appetite, but I never knew about the toenail loss. I would have never thought about it. One thing I wanted to say before I read you guys some of the other questions and comment. One of the things is that, so in my career, even back 20 years ago when I was a surgical tech, we would have surgeons come in and put a chemo port in people. And, because back then, of course, I was a tech, I wasn't a doctor, so I never followed up with these people, never knew what their life was like after we put these ports in. Do any of you all still have a port in?
No,
I don't have mine anymore.
Yeah, the
Everybody's
scar.
port.
Yeah,
got a scar. Yeah.
All right.
And I
No.
think my body knew when it was time for it to come out because it started to irritate me.
Yeah.
So I left mine in maybe a year and a half or two after I finished chemo, maybe like a year and a half. And I told my doctor that I was feeling away with it, and she was like, "Yeah, there's no need for it." Some people still have theirs years later after their finished treatment. I just didn't want that foreign object in my body.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Well, yeah,
after,
I just wanted people to know that you know, when you're taking chemotherapy and that, you know, people, they actually put a port in, and this port is actually able to directly deliver medication. So because you can't just give chemo, it's so strong, as you heard the ladies telling you, and caustic, it can burn the vein, very, very uncomfortable to the patient. So they put a port in their chest, and there's literally a port right up under the skin, and it's protruding a little bit, so you can actually see that and feel it. Okay. I wanted y'all just to know that. All right, let's go to, because let me catch up on these comments and questions. Ebony Lindsay, cancer survivors are the strongest people I know. Adrian, fighters for sure. Carla King says, thank you ladies for sharing your story. How did you ladies balance mental health with your diagnosis?
God.
Absolutely.
I had to keep him first.
Absolutely.
I remember I said, you know what? I'm gonna go in this car, I'm gonna just cry to God. You got to give it to God. You got to let go. And you got to have support. My mom was my biggest support system.
Yep.
I move, you okay. You got to have a big support system and stay away from negativity.
Yep. That's sum it up. For me, mentally, I struggled. But like she said, family was everything. I think we went through it. I know me and Sean started during the pandemic, which was we thinking the world falling apart, and then we get this diagnosis. I'm like, okay, God, what is going on?
Yeah.
And when I realized, I wanted to worry, and then God said, I said, why not me? I mean, why me? And He said, why not you? And when that came to me, I said, okay, all right, God, I know you have me. I prayed over the chemo, the medicine, the nurse, the bed, the everything that had anything to do with cancer. I prayed over, and I said, God, I will not be whatever this diagnosis is saying that I will be. I will be better than this. I will come out of this, and I will look better than I did when I went in.
Right.
And I just kind of just prayed through it and kept my people around me for support. And God, God was number one. God is number one. So.
I always get emotional when I talk about this system because they really were there for me.
Yeah. It's still there.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you got to have a strong system because it's tough to go. You can't do it alone. You just can't. You got to have that support to push you. You know, because day by day is hard. You want to give up. You just want to give up. I threw a temper tantrum when they just throwing stuff. I'm just like, come in, let me pray for you. Call my prayer warriors. You know, it's tough.
It's tough.
So anybody out there, you going through it, hold on, pray, and get you a good support system. Just hold on and don't give up because it's hard.
Never give up.
Never.
I will say too that cancer is 90% mental and 10% physical.
Yes.
If your mental is strong, I feel like
that's a great
okay.
Absolutely.
If your mental is strong, your physical will follow. But if you go into it thinking, oh, I can't handle this, I can't do this, it will defeat you. But as long as your mind stays strong, you will be fine. You'll beat it. You'll beat it.
And don't claim it. Because I ain't claim I ain't got it. I said, I'm healed in the name of Jesus. Not claim it. You got to have a strong, like sis was saying, you got to have a strong mind.
You got it will take you, and it will take you fast. And I know sometimes I see people, they'll get diagnosed, and Lord knows, they'll get diagnosed, and the next time you see them, it's like it took them down. And I wonder if they couldn't handle it mentally. And it just takes their physical. And, you know. But and I understand everybody is not as strong, but that's why we say support system and God. You gotta get around those people that's they're not gonna let you give up.
Because what Susan went through means you're gonna go through it. Everybody got their own testimony that God's gonna take you through.
That's right. Well, you know, Before I say what I want to say about that, I'm gonna, because I don't want to forget this. I had somebody that messaged me directly who said, first of all, I would love, Doc, I would love you to thank these beautiful ladies for sharing their story tonight. And that takes so much courage. And so she wanted you all to know that. And then she wanted to ask about, well, okay, I'm gonna get their question because I got to piggyback on what y'all said about God. So if you're listening still, I'm going to get to your question, and then I got some others. Look, I really like what you all. I love what you all said about God. One of the things is, patients always say, man, Dr. Bookhardt, I never knew I had diabetes, or I never had my blood pressure to be normal or so well controlled. Like, what is it that you're doing? How are you doing this? So the nurses say, and I said, look, anybody that knows me knows that I say all the time, God gives us talents, he gives us gifts, but this is coming from the Lord. It is not us that's healing anybody. And I'm never afraid to say that. I'm never afraid to say that. I'm not a Bible thumper or somebody who puts folks down and always preaching. But one thing I know is that, just like y'all said, you having a strong faith, you got to be rooted in something. And the world these days, they want to take that away, and they don't want you to say it on media. They don't want you to, I was looking at, Roland Martin. I was on Roland Martin's show about a year ago, and that man says what he wants to say. And that's why sometimes they have cancel culture. They don't want you to say certain things. They don't want you to show the strength of the Black community, of Black men, different things like that. And they definitely don't want you to give the honor and glory to God. So I just wanted to pause and just for a second and say that this is God, that he's in each one of your life. He was in those people. I think one of y'all said that you prayed for the doctor, the nurse, the bed, all of that. Even the medications they give me. It's that they gave me the red devil, but I'm here to tell you that the devil ain't prevailed. God prevailed on that. There ain't no red devil.
That's right.
I'm sorry.
That is right. That's right.
All right, let me. All
No,
right.
don't be
preach, Dr. Preach.
I'm just saying. So, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
No, that's true.
But this is great, man. This is such a testimony, and there are just certain things in medicine we can't explain, and I don't go back trying to figure it out. I just say, look, this person had this disease process. It ain't here no more. Y'all wrote this. I had my patient. If anybody saw that, which of course that's somewhat of a plug. That was on WAPT News. I'm going to feature her later this year. Alexis Granger, her name is out, so this is no HIPAA violation. Her name is Alexis, and she is definitely happy to share her story. And people wrote this young lady off when COVID first came out. She was on a ventilator, and they wrote her off. And I said, "Ain't no way, a woman barely not even 25." We can't do this. We got to give her this experimental medication. We can't give up. We prayed about it. And like I said, that woman is still my patient now, walking, talking, got married, and got a baby. Okay? So
wow, that's a blessing.
All right. Let's turn it back to y'all. We're back to the survivor. So her question, the young lady, her question was, let me get it right. She said, what checks and exams do you all have now? So basically, do you, like, how often probably are you doing, your mammogram? Do you have to do ultrasound? Do you have to do blood tests, stuff like that?
I'll go first. I don't have, and I say this with pride, I chose to have a double mastectomy. So I had my breast removed. So I don't have to do the mammograms at the moment. But I do still have to go and get like CAT scans, and we still have to do the scans, blood work. And I think now I'm up to going every year. So I think you start out every 3 months, 6 months, I think 9 months, and then 12 months. So I'm at a year. So I get my my checkups every year, and I still have to go back and see my surgical oncologist and my regular oncologist, just to make sure everything is everything. And I have a tumor marker on the left side where they found the cancer at. So once they do the blood work, they always measure to make sure that there are no signs of cancer.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah, I chose to get a double mastectomy as well. I don't get mammograms anymore, so I'm basically CAT scans or an MRI.
MRIs,
yeah. And I got a double also. I got both of mine removed.
Okay.
I'm still on the chemo pill, so they have to make sure the medicine don't have my chest, my heart failure and kidney failure and all of that. So I go like every 6 months so they can keep tab on that with the tamoxifen.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Hmm.
Well, thank you all for that. Let's go to some of these other comments here on the. Here, let's see. We have Carla. The mental. Okay, we did that one. Samantha says, "Wow." Kevin Kevon, Krissy, we love you. Our pink warrior Barbie. That's Kevon. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your stories. Let's see. Is that me? Oh, that's Misa. Misa Cruz, Dr. B. Would THC help with being tired, nausea, and loss of appetite? That's an interesting question, Misa. Of course, Misa Cruz would ask about THC, y'all. But but so you can with THC, which of course, if people out there don't know, that is the active component of marijuana. So she's asking, would that help with basically fatigue, nausea, loss of appetite? The thing is, it's one of those weird kind of things where in certain amounts, right? In small amounts, it does one thing, kind of like dopamine, same thing. It does different things where in small amounts or large amounts. So in certain settings, THC, and especially those that consume a lot of it, whether it's in edibles or actually smoking it or however you do, that can lead to intractable nausea and vomiting and cause people to go into the hospital just because of too much THC. But then there are also conditions where when we've given Zofran, when we've given Phenergan and other types of antiemetics, that sometimes THC does help people. So it's one of those kind of things. I'm sorry I don't have a direct answer for that because it just really depends. And then now, loss of appetite, yes, we give something called Marinol, 2.5 milligrams by mouth twice a day. We give that in the hospital to people that sometimes are cancer survivors or those with HIV, those with different conditions that causes significant weight loss. So Marinol does help with the appetite. So that's that. I hope that answers your question. Let's see. Dolores Harris, I get emotional every time I have a mammogram. Dolores says, I get emotional every time I have a mammogram. Do you? Well, they already addressed that. They actually don't need to get mammograms, Dolores. They've all had bilateral, which means both sides, both breasts removed. So every young lady here has had breasts removed. So what they did say is that they get CAT scans and also MRIs. And she said, thank you so much. Ezel is here. What's going on? What's going on, brother? He says, thank you so much for the enlightenment. Beautiful testimony. All right. So we're caught up again. So, and we talked, one of my questions was going to be about mental health support. And we're going to have a couple of mental health experts on in the next few episodes. One thing we wanted to talk about, what about your relationship with the healthcare team? Your doctors, oh, by the way, speaking of the doctor, is Dr. Q any one of your oncologists?
No.
Nobody has Dr.
Mine
Q.
is Dr. Amanda Young and Dr. Lay is mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Philip Lay. Yeah.
Philip,
Yeah,
my boy.
yeah. I love Dr. Lay. True. Shout out to Dr. Lay.
I love
Shout out to
Dr.
Dr.
Lay.
Lay. If you're out there,
Yeah.
And mine is Dr. Craft.
Okay. Excellent. All right.
And Tammy Young.
Tammy
Yeah,
Young
she's
and Lay.
good. Yeah.
She's excellent. I just didn't know if I love Q is a personal friend of mine as well. So, but shout out to all of them. They're all excellent. I'm familiar with all those positions. How has your relationship kind of evolved? Did you all have a sense of closeness, or how has your relationship evolved with, the doctors, the nurses, the techs, whoever? Like, did y'all notice a change in how your relationship with them?
Yeah, I would say at first, Dr. Young, she's straightforward, straight to the point. I almost, when she gave me the news, she said, you got to do this, and that. And it kind of made me so mad at her. But after everything was done, she talked to me and we had a recap. She said, you see why I was this hard on you. She said, I wanted you to get through it, and you did. And now our conversations are so cool and laid back. When I go into the office, it's like I'm talking to a friend girl. It's real cool. One of my nurses that's at Dr. Lay's office, she checks on me all the time, just random texts throughout the day. If I need anything, I sometimes don't even have to go into the office. I can just personally text her phone. So I feel like that's a connection made that I didn't even know that will be made. So I'm thankful for those small connections, because it's a personable feeling. It's not, you're just not a patient at that point. You're almost like a friend.
That's right.
So I appreciate that from them.
Yeah. I feel the same. They make you feel comfortable. You know, at a time like that needed, you need to feel comfortable around a doctor when you can talk to them and, they tell you something, they can make you at ease with it. Yes. We got the same doctor, so I feel what she's saying.
Yeah.
My team is they make me feel really comfortable. If I'm sending a message to the chart, they're gonna make it happen, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. We just want to make sure they see. Okay. What were you saying? I'm sorry, Sean. What were you saying?
My team makes me feel comfortable, and if I ever need anything, they always let me know. Hit that my chart, and they gonna give me whatever I need.
Shout out to my chart.
I love my chart.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wanted to, kind of go back to the mental health thing. We kind of touched on that before. How important would you all say that mental health is with this? Like, do they do the oncologists or anywhere in this process, do they advocate or advise you to have therapy or counseling? And the reason I ask that is because, of course, in our community, and our community meaning the Black community, and we are here in the Bible Belt in Mississippi, a lot of times and we know that prayer, of course, is so important, but a lot of times we feel like prayer, we can just pray things away. And so a lot of times in our community, things are swept under the rug. We ignore things, and then especially with Black men, a lot of times we are made to feel weak. When we go and say that, oh, I have a therapist, I recognize that I have a problem, I feel depressed. So I wanted to know, what role has therapy and mental health counseling played in your lives and in this journey, and is that something that they automatically offer you?
Therapy was not recommended to me. Me either. I have told myself that I do want to seek therapy. I feel like it's needed. I feel like I need to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
No, because we go through changes. Like I feel that I'm still not back to myself, because hair done changed, skin done changed, our body has changed so much. So I do think I do need to talk to somebody, because I'm still not back to myself. We make it look good, but I'm not back to myself yet. Yeah.
I think it's important just because you need an outlet.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're talking to the same, like your family and friends.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need a different outlet.
Yeah.
And I think that it's mental health. It should be recommended.
Yeah.
Anytime that you deal with that diagnosis and a treatment plan, I feel like you should talk to somebody about living afterwards, because they don't really tell you how to live, which they can't, but they can kind of give you some recommendations on how to get through this. Because like I said, everybody's story is different. Everybody goes through different things. So I think an outlet would be really good. Recommending.
Absolutely. One of the other questions we wanted to know, so, the role of exercise, diet, and nutrition on your lifestyle these days, how important is that to you guys? And, I know Sean does it, because we see you on social media. How important, what role does that play in your lives, and how important do you all feel exercise, dieting, and nutrition is?
It's extremely important. Like once I got back on track, I started to feel like my new normal, because I know I never be how I was prior to. But I started to feel like I'm normal again. It's the feeling that I feel now.
Because for some reason, after chemotherapy, you gain a lot of weight, and it's in your stomach.
Mine is in my
Mhm.
thigh.
Mine's in my stomach.
Yeah, mine was in my stomach.
And it's funny how it happens different on all of us.
Yeah, but you lose weight during, but after you blow up.
Yeah. And I don't know if that's like, and Dr. B, you could probably tell us about
Yeah.
that. I don't know if it's like a hormonal thing because I
Right.
think the chemo messes with the hormones.
Mhm.
And I went to my doctor saying, oh my God, my thighs are just huge. It's
Yeah.
like all of my weight came back and sat in my thighs, and I wasn't that big,
Right.
in the bottom part of my
Yeah.
body. And she said it could just be from
Right.
hormonal imbalances.
Yeah,
So that's another thing
Yeah.
too that they don't tell you about, but you
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
experience, and it's like,
Yeah.
what is this? You know.
Mhm.
So yeah, working out. I just started working out. I'm gonna be honest, Sean. Seeing her online,
Yeah.
Oh
posting
yeah.
her pictures in the gym,
Oh yeah.
it made me get up and say, okay, you gonna sit here, or you just gonna watch her, or you gonna join her. So
Right.
I've been trying to get my steps in and work out a little bit more. And honestly, it's helping me better mentally than anything.
Yeah.
Physical second, but mentally first. It's helping a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's also a little bit of a tough one just because, like I personally don't deal with chemotherapy. So it probably would be a better question, for the oncologist. But just, kind of on a general on a surface level, yeah, that oncologist is certainly correct that it does certain chemotherapy, because of how it impacts the body. It does, it can interact or alter, your hormones and, certainly your metabolism. And also, y'all talked about losing weight, I think 10 pounds, and certainly other patients lose even more than that. And so, when people when they get off that, it's probably like a twofold thing. Like, number one, they're so happy to be off it and feeling better that they want to eat. And then they're actually objectively able to eat more because they don't have this medication, causing such side effects. So, but one thing I know, I'm looking at the clock, man. The time is passed so quickly with there's so much that we want to get to in this 1 hour. I know what we're going to have to do, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, we got to have these ladies back. We see that now. So, Sean, go ahead and gather the team. Sean, gather the team.
I got it.
We're gonna come back. We're gonna come back. I think maybe we'll do like a special, a longer segment or something for the holidays. So stay tuned. That means stay tuned, everybody, because we've got more coming up, and we're gonna bring them back. They don't know it yet, but I'm already volunteering them. So, one very important question I wanted to get to that I wanted to ask: what advice would you give someone who's facing a new diagnosis, and advice specifically with, how to navigate, this whole health, their healthcare experience, a newly diagnosed breast cancer patient? What advice would you give them?
Your life is not over.
Yeah.
Break the ice.
Yep.
Your life is not over. You about to start a new chapter after this is done.
Yeah.
And please keep God first.
Yes.
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 Please.
Yes.
I would say just trust God more than anything. Yeah, it may look away on paper, but that's not the end of the story.
That's right.
Like you said, it's a beautiful beginning on the outside of all of that rain and dark days and crying, but you have to get through it. And sometimes, we go through things for different reasons.
Yeah.
So don't fight it. Just try to go through it, because you're gonna have to go through it, and you're gonna have to help somebody else coming out of it. So just be strong, stay the course, keep God first, and keep your support system. Ask questions when you go in the doctor's office, because you don't know what you don't know.
Please
Ask
do.
questions, write it down, and take your questions in there and ask, and just keep God first and keep pushing, because it's light at the end of the tunnel. It's not a death sentence.
Yeah. I say keep God first. It's gonna be like a seed. You know how the seed and grow into a flower? You're sprouting out. So you just gotta take one day at a time. Don't give up. Have a good support system. If you hear somebody talking negative through your situation, just say, look, I don't want to hear that. Because my situation gonna be different.
They got
so I'm gonna get through this, and God gonna get through this, and my support system. But I'm sorry, I don't want to hear this. So keep positive people in front of you and around you, and it'll help you get through your journey.
And I want to add too about surgery questions, and some women don't understand or don't know which surgery that they want to do. That decision is up to you.
Oh, yeah.
Don't let somebody else
Right.
make it. Family members, mom, sister, tell you should do this or do that, because that's it. That surgery is going to be, that's going to affect you. So do it for you. If you don't want to do a double mastectomy, if you don't want to do reconstruction, or if you want to do reconstruction and do whatever, do it for you. It'll make you feel better, because you don't want to regret doing something based off somebody else's feelings, because they're not going through it.
Yeah.
That's right.
But also, just to enlighten you ladies, let's just say mine was in my right breast, so it's best to get both removed. Some people try to keep them. Let them go. Let them go. You get it.
Very important.
But let them both go, so you won't have to go through it again, because it could come back.
And if you decide to keep that one breast, let that be your decision. Because I had a doctor who tried to encourage me to just remove one of them.
Yeah.
And at that time, my mind was already made up.
I
had made a decision that I was letting them go. And I told her, I said no.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You don't want to go through that again. Just do it all in one stone.
Wow. And one other thing, last question is real quick. It's a two-part question. Looking back, is there anything that I guess you could say that you wish you had known or could have done differently? And now, so looking back, what do you wish you could have done differently, if anything? And what does survivorship mean to you now? It's a two-part.
I don't think it's anything I could have
done nothing. No. It made me stronger. Yeah. It made me wiser and stronger. It really did.
It strengthened my relationship with God too, because I had to lean on Him.
Yeah.
So I don't think I regret anything. Now at the time I hated that chemo medicine.
Yeah.
But we know that was what we had to do. Sometimes I really hate that I had to go through chemo, but I mean, it what it had to do. But other than that, I don't have a regret or anything. I feel like I could have done differently as far as survivorship. I just feel like that's one of the best things that came from it.
Yeah.
Being able to enlighten people, inspire people. Let me tell you, they treat us like queens now. We are queens wherever we go. A survivor is like I feel good because we're always recognized as a survivor. But what I can say, and I just spoke about this, don't get caught up in being on a survivor, being strong. You have to live too. You know what I'm saying? You have to get to the point where you have to live. I told my mom that recently. I said, Mom, I'm tired of surviving. I just want to live. I've been through so much. I'm ready to live. And that really changed my entire perspective. Like it's now my days are like brighter. I get up and I'm living again. I don't want to. You're a survivor forever. We know that. But don't get stuck in that mentality where all I got to do is survive. No, you have to live.
Yeah.
So say that.
Enjoy your life.
Yeah.
Amen.
After all the surgery and chemo, live your life. Whatever whatever makes you happy. Get yourself up. Get back to you being you.
And it's a journey, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
That's right. Amen. Well, look, we got 2 more minutes. So look, real quick, ladies, could y'all just give us a real quick blast? Tell them your name, if you got businesses, how to contact you, and what you're doing in the community or what your business doing. Let's go.
All right. My name is Krissy Burrell. I am the CEO of Penthouse Media and Marketing. I have a platform to promote business owners, entrepreneurs, artists in the city, as well as like telling stories from all aspects of life. I do a toy drive every year. I do a turkey drive every year. I'm always trying to get back to the community one way or another. And like I said, I love connecting and networking with people in all aspects of life.
My name is LaShundra Walker. My main focus right now is to hopefully get into nursing school so I can help take care of people the way I was taken care of. I had some really amazing people that I will never, ever, ever forget that took care of me when I was at my worst.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay. My name is Angel Weathersby, and I'm the bartender of the group. So I do parties and stuff. So y'all hit me up if you need a good bartender.
We all need to
Yeah,
talk.
no.
We all need
Hey, well, look. Hey, look. We talked about a lot of important stuff, but the only thing I'm taking away from this is that you're the bartender. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Well, Doc, help you need it.
Well, look. Thank you so much, ladies. Look, thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you for watching Telehealth Tuesday. Now, next week we have Dr. Anita Greer, who is a board-certified nurse practitioner. She's a mental health expert. You definitely don't want to miss that. We briefly touched on that tonight. You don't want to miss next week. And you see, with these ladies, we got to come back because you got 3 ladies. They got 3 times 10 big personalities. And but we're so glad that they are here. God has spared their lives to be a beacon of light and hope to you and to this community. So God willing, we will see you next week, always on a Tuesday, 7 o'clock p.m. right here, Dr. B TV on YouTube, Good Faith Wellness Center on Facebook, Good Faith Wellness Center on Instagram. And remember, we're here to take care of the mind, body, and soul. And remember, true wealth begins with good health. Bye for now. Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Bookhardt. Come join us at our newest clinic location at Good Faith Wellness Center. We provide compassionate health care for your entire family, from virtual visits to office appointments. We're committed to providing the best care. We accept all insurances, and we provide monthly wellness plans. Let's start your family journey to a healthier, happier life. Schedule your appointment today, and remember, true wealth begins with good health.